Hey guys, if you're part of the Swisstronik Testnet 2.0 and you're having difficulty completing the technical task 1, this video is for you. So today I'll be showing you how to complete the technical task 1, which is deploying a simple contract using Hardhat. If you haven't joined the Swisstronik Testnet, check out my other video on how to join. So the first thing to do is to set up your coding environment. You can use Gitpod, you can use GitHub Codespace, or you can use your Ubuntu machine if you have a local Ubuntu machine. If you are running a Windows PC, you may install VS Code and all that. These are other options, or you may run a virtual machine with an Ubuntu distribution. But for this tutorial, I'll be using GitHub Codespace. So first, make sure you have a GitHub account. If you don't have a GitHub account, create one. It takes less than 5 minutes to create an account. So once you've done that, visit your GitHub Codespaces. You'll find the link in the description. Before you set up your code space, you would want to set up your repository. So to set up your repository, click on the hamburger icon at the top left and click Home. Here you'll find the option to create a new repository, so you can give it a name. I'll use task 1 for the name. Ensure it's a public repository, so click on public and click create a new repository. Now my repository has been created. You'll find the link to this repository here, so click on the copy icon to copy it. For those of you using Gitpod, this is the link you will use as your repository when creating a new workspace. Now do not exit this page because some of these codes here will be important down the line. If you're creating a repository using a different method, make sure not to add a README file, because the README file may cause issues down the road. We don't want to have to do any extra steps like merging the README file from the remote to the local repository. So skip creating the README file if you're using a different method of creating the repository. As you can see, we haven't created a file because we have been asked here to create a new file. So the next thing to do is to go back to your GitHub Codespace and set it up. So now I'm back on my GitHub Codespace. I prefer to use a blank template. So on the blank card, I click use this template. So we'll wait for a few minutes for it to set up your Codespace and for the terminal to be active. So while we are waiting for the Codespace to set up our terminal, there are a few things you need to do. Like I mentioned in my earlier video, do not use the same wallet you're using to connect to the testnet for the technical tasks. You will want to create a fresh wallet which you use for nothing else except the technical tasks. This is for security purposes, because if you're not careful, you may be exposing your private key, and there are several GitHub bots that are scouring GitHub for exposed private keys. So if you use a wallet with funds inside and you expose your private key, you stand the risk of losing the funds in your wallet. So for all the technical tasks, use a fresh wallet that you've not used for anything else and that you're only using for the technical tasks. So to create a new wallet, open your Swisstronik wallet, click on the hamburger icon at the top right and click add a new wallet. Click create a new wallet and follow the prompt. The next thing to do is to copy the Swisstronik testnet address of this new wallet you just created and claim test tokens from the Swisstronik faucet, because you will need to pay gas fees when deploying your contract. If you don't know how to claim tokens from the faucet, check out my earlier video. You find it at the top of your screen and you also find the link in the description. Once you've done that, you need to copy your private key. So to get it, click on the hamburger icon at the top right and click settings. Click security and click reveal private key. Click continue and select the new wallet you just created. The new wallet I created is the wallet 1, so I click on it and you'll be asked to enter your Swisstronik wallet password. So provide the password and click confirm password. So here you would see your private key. Click on the copy icon to copy it. The next thing you want to do is to set up a token for your repository. So visit this link and it will take you to a new personal access token page. Give it a name in the notes. You can write whatever you want. In this case, I'm using task 1 for the name. Under select scopes, tick the repo checkbox and scroll down, then click generate token. Now the next thing to do is to copy this token because you won't see it again. Copy this token and keep in a safe place. And then let's go back to our terminal. So now my terminal is active. You can decide to choose a color theme, but that's not important to me. So for this task, I'll be using Zon's guide. Shout out to Zon. You can follow him for more technical task guide. You'll find a link to his guide in the description. So what we'll be doing today is following this guide step by step to get the desired result. So for convenience, I'll be splitting my screen. So I make this a new window and I split my screen, select the left and select this, the right. So now that we have the code and the terminal side by side, I can decide to drag this window so I have more room. So the first thing we want to do is to create a folder and set up our Hardhat environment. So the first one we are doing is cd home. So copy this, click on your terminal and Ctrl V to paste. If this is your first time, you will need to accept the approval request so that you can paste text to the clipboard by clicking on allow. And you can click on X to close this. So after pasting the code, hit the enter key. So this is the first code, cd home, I hit enter. To create a folder, I copy the next code, paste it to my terminal, Ctrl V, enter. The next one we move to the folder, Ctrl V, enter. The next code here, copy, Ctrl V, enter, and wait for the code to finish running. Now it's done. Click on the next one, Ctrl V, hit enter, and wait for the code to run. So now that's complete. Go to the next one, click on the copy icon, paste, hit the enter key, and wait for it to complete. Copy the next one, paste, hit enter, and wait for it to complete. Copy the next code, paste, hit enter. So now it asks what do you want to do. Just hit enter and hit enter again, and it asks you do you want to add a git ignore. So press Y on your keyboard. Now we continue to copy the next code here, which is this. You can copy, paste, hit enter. The next one, click the copy icon, paste, hit enter, and now we will be pasting a code here which will involve our private key, and that is why I asked you to create a new wallet that you're using for nothing else. Copy this code and replace this section with your private key. The private key we just copied from our Swisstronik wallet. Open your notepad and paste this code here so you'll be able to edit it before pasting it into the terminal text editor. So leave the OX and take off this part like this, then paste your private key here after the OX. So now it will look like this. So copy everything here and paste it here. To save it, use Ctrl X to exit, and it will ask you if you want to save. So press Y on your keyboard and press the enter key to save. Move to the next code, click on copy, paste it, hit enter key, move to the next code, click on copy, paste it, hit the enter key, move to the next code here, which will open the text editor, click on copy, paste it here, and you need to copy this code by clicking on the copy icon, paste it in this text editor. As usual, to exit, use Ctrl X or Command X if you're on the Mac, and press Y on your keyboard, hit enter to save. You copy the next one, which is this. Click on the copy icon to copy, paste and hit enter. Next code, click on the copy icon to copy, paste it and hit your enter. Next one, click on the copy icon, paste it and hit your enter. Next one, click on the copy icon, which will take us to text editor again, paste it and hit enter. Now copy this code, paste it here, Ctrl X to exit, press Y on your keyboard and hit enter to save. We move to the next code, click on the copy icon to copy, paste it and hit enter. The next code, click on the copy icon to copy, paste it and hit enter. The next one, click on the copy icon to copy, paste it and hit enter. Now wait for it to complete. If your deployment has been successful, you will see it written here, Swisstronik contract deployed to this contract address. Make sure to copy this contract address, as that is what you will be submitting for the task. So highlight the address and use your Ctrl C or Command C to copy. Now save it in a safe place. You can label it with something you can remember. CA meaning contract address for task 1, and then paste the contract address here. So we continue. So the next thing we need to do is to remove our private key from the Hardhat JavaScript configuration file. So copy this code, click on the copy icon to copy it, paste it here and hit the enter key. Now use your arrow key to move down. I'm using my down arrow key to move until you find where your private key is. So now I'm using my right arrow key to move to the right. Stop when your cursor is on the quotation mark and use your backspace key to delete. So I delete and stop here. Use your Ctrl X to exit. Press Y on your keyboard and hit enter to save. Now we've removed the private key information. Now that we've deployed the code successfully, we need to push these files to the GitHub repository we just created. So click on this link and it will take you to the guide. So the first thing to do is to install Git. So click on the copy icon to copy the first code, paste. If you see this prompt, click do not ask me again so it won't bring up the prompt, and click paste. Now hit enter for the second line to install Git. Okay, now Git has been installed. Copy the next code, paste, hit enter, copy the next one, paste, hit enter, copy the next one, paste, hit enter, copy the next one, paste, and hit enter. And this is where we start pushing our files to the repository. So first, copy the git remote add origin, go to your notepad, paste it here. So remember the link to the git repository you copied in the first step, which is this. That's why I asked you not to leave this page. So click on the copy icon to copy and paste it here. If you already left the page, in this case, click on your hamburger icon and you will see the repositories that you have. So click on the repository that you want to copy the link to, in this case, my tax1 repository, and you'll find the link to copy the code here. If you don't find something like this, click on your address bar and copy the URL. But if you do so, it will leave out the .git extension, and I'll show you. So just add a .git to the end of the URL and you'll be fine. So that's it. This is the code we copy and paste in the terminal. Ctrl C, go back to your terminal, Ctrl V to paste and hit enter. Next code I want us to use is not here, but it's a little alteration to the previous code. Codespace usually use your GitHub credentials, but sometimes you might need to reconfigure the authentication. So you can use the HTTPS with a personal access token, which I showed you how to create earlier for this authentication, and that is what I'll be doing here. So what you want to do is to update the remote URL with the token. So the code looks like this. You'll find this code in the extra code section of this video description. Replace this with your GitHub username, replace this with the personal access token which I showed you how to create earlier, and replace this with your repository link which I showed you how to get. So I highlight this and replace it with my GitHub username. I highlight this and replace it with my personal access token. And I highlight this and replace with my repository link. But in this case, you remove the HTTPS colon and the 2 forward slashes from the URL. So instead of having something like this, you'll be removing this part and pasting this. So replace the repo link with your repo link. Once you've replaced all the variables, copy everything and paste it in your terminal. Enter, so we can continue with the rest of the code. Copy this next one here, paste, hit enter, and finally to push everything to the repository, paste this code and hit enter. So now everything has been pushed to the GitHub repository. So if we go back to our earlier repository and refresh, you will see that there are new files. So now we have successfully deployed the contract on the Swisstronik Testnet and pushed our configuration files to our desired GitHub repository. So now that you finished the technical tax 1, go back to your dashboard and click on the tax 1 card, scroll. So here you paste the deploy contract address which you saved earlier. So go back to your notepad or wherever you saved it, copy the address, paste it here. So enter the link to your GitHub repository, which is our tax1 repository, which is this. You can always find the link by going back to your repository, clicking on code and clicking on the copy icon to copy it. So paste the link here. So click submit to submit your contract address and click submit to submit your GitHub repository. So that's it about the technical tax 1, which involves deploying a simple contract using Hardhat. For the technical tax 2, when the video is released, you will find the link in the description, or you can check out my channel regularly to see when I've posted new tutorials. If this video has helped you, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any issues, ask for help in my Telegram group. Link to the group is in the description. But before you go to the group, make sure you use ChatGPT. Make sure you followed all the instructions and all the steps without missing anything. You can download the video and go over it as many times as possible to check out any steps you missed. So this is how I will use ChatGPT to debug any errors I find in my code. I log into my ChatGPT, click on the message, and send something like this: fix a bug in my code. I'll send you the last command, and then you ask for the error message, then you debug and fix it. Simple and short. When I hit enter, then it asks me for the last command. Let's say I had an error with this command, so I send the command and hit enter. Then it asks me for the error message. I copy the error message from my terminal. Let's assume this is the error message. I paste it and I hit enter. You can see it explains why I have that issue and gives me some possible fixes, and it works pretty well. I would say 75% of the time it works. If you haven't joined the Swisstronik Testnet, check out my earlier video. You'll find it at the top of your screen or in the description. Remember, we are still in the season of Telegram airdrops, so check out the bonus section of this video description and sign up on some of the hottest Telegram airdrops today. So keep interacting with the Swisstronik Testnet, completing your daily tasks. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.